Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Band of Brothers, a game I was suggested over the last couple of videos, and I saw that FallenShogun was doing a series, and I watched about a minute of the video before I went, you know what, let's give this a go, and I bought it, and I was like, okay, let's give this a try, and I sat down and I booted the game, and I pressed two buttons, and I went, why am I not recording this? So let's record this. I've played nothing of this so far. Absolutely, positively nothing of this so far. All I've done was I hit new campaign and I looked at this and I was like, okay, company name, banner. Okay, right. I'm gonna go veteran Iron Man just because I'm a masochist like that. Iron Man, I'm assuming, is what I assume to be Iron Man, right? No manual saving, only a single save. Losing the whole company means losing the save. Okay, right. Veteran difficulty. Our expert is lesser, starting funds, higher prices. Beginner is more starting funds, lower prices. No, I'm going to go for veteran. And the company name is going to be the Nemos. Nemos. And the banners, like, I really like the look of loads of these banners. I like the look of quite a lot of them, actually. That's a cool banner. That's a very sort of Roman banner. That's a nice banner. That's a really nice banner. But I like this banner, I think, the most. I kind of knew that this one was after this one. Because I like green. I do like green very much. So, yeah. We're going to go with this one for now. Nemos. Start. Not every battle can be won. It's good to know. I know very little about this game. Just like the slight tastes of it from seeing other people play it gave me the slightest hints that I might enjoy it. And I was like, you know what? We'll explore my enjoyment of this game together. Anyway, the last battle. It all went wrong. 2 days ago, the company was hired to track down Hogarth the Weasel and his band of raiders, but it was them who found you first. An ambush, some joke about horses, cut short by an arrow to the throat. Arrows shooting in from everywhere and nowhere. Men holler and scream, a great volume before death. As the hail subsides, you draw your weapon with the rest of the men, only to collapse to your knees. An arrow has punctured your side. You shout in pain. A hurried glance sees the men charge without you to make a valiant last stand, met in force as steel clashes with steel. You meet eyes with the captain, at last nod before his throat is cut. You're left in command now of what few men remain. Trembling in pain, you lean on your sword, and with all the will you can muster rise. Sorry, that was horribly spoken. Trembling in pain, you lean on your sword, and with all the will you can muster, slowly rise again. I'm assuming there's a comma missing there somewhere. Anyway, to the end. Oop, someone just died. Captain Bernhard. And he just got killed. Captain Bernhard just got killed. Hogarth the Weasel. Okay, so let's have a look. Hogarth the Weasel's over there. His turn is done. There's a lot I don't know. I played about a second of the demo as well, just to see what the combat was going to be like. I'm going to expand you so I know what I'm looking for. Okay, so here we have Rambert the Older acting right now. He has... Okay, action points. His AP is spent for every action. Once all the points are done, ends, blah blah blah. Fatigue. Fatigue is gained for every action, like moving or using skills, and when being hit in combat, it is reduced at a fixed rate of 15 each turn, or as much as necessary for a character to start every turn with 15 less than his maximum fatigue. If a character accumulates too much fatigue, they may need to rest a turn, i.e. do nothing, before being able to use more specialized skills again. Morale. Morale is one of 5 states, and represents the mental condition of the combatants and their effectiveness in battle. At the lowest state, fleeing, a character will be outside your control, although they may eventually rally again. Morale changes as the battle unfolds, with the characters that have a high resolve less likely to fall to low morale states. Many of your opponents are affected by morale as well. Head armor. As long as there is any armor left, armor points are reduced instead of hit points on taking a hit. Head armor protects, surprisingly, the head, which is harder to hit than the body, but more vulnerable to damage. Body armor is the same, but for body... And hit points, once it takes 0, the character is considered dead. The higher the maximum hit points, the less likely the character will suffer debilitating injuries when hit. Okay, so this is Rambert the Older. He's steady. He has 9 AP. This is... Costs 2 AP and 4 AP to traverse. This is... Okay, step. Bandit Thug. Bandit Thug. Double Grip. Confident. Can we right click on these things? Can we learn anything from these people? Inventory? Okay, right. We have a hood. A quiver of bolts. It keeps having issues of... Okay, quiver of bolts. It contains 10 bolts. Rugged surcoat. A knife. Not made for combat, but still works for combat. A light crossbow. One-handed worth money. Has a durability of some kind. Deals damage. 50% of the damage ignores armor. 60% effective against armor. Range of 6 tiles. Maximum fatigue is -6. Shoot bolt. 2 AP to use and builds up 5 fatigue. Inflicts some damage which can ignore armor. Inflicts damage to armor. Has a range of 6 on even ground or more if shooting downhill. Has a plus 15% chance to hit and -3 per tile of distance. Okay, so it's best at point blank range. Background. Companion. Rambert is one of the most talented marksmen you've encountered in your travels. It is said that he can split an arrow mid-flight. While he has fondness for killing from afar, Rambert's no slouch in close quarters combat. And he's also fat. He has higher hit points but lower maximum fatigue. Okay, that's the stats we've seen. Fatigue, morale, resolve represents the willpower and bravery of characters. The higher... You know what? I'm going to fight for a bit and then we'll find out about those afterwards. Rambert the Older. This guy is untouched, unharmed, and steady with fresh fatigue. Same thing with you. Let's just shoot, right? Just shoot. Shoot bolt. I press 1. Trigger you. 55% chance to hit. 49% chance to hit. Let's hit you. Ooh, nicely shot. I'm assuming you have to reload, right? Yeah, reload. Radiant of the Bolt uses 7 AP and 20 fatigue. That's a lot. Okay, so 2. What's this? What? This is a graphical glitch? Anyway, so this is Sigmund. Sigmund... Yeah, there's definitely a graphical glitch going on here somewhere. He's got an axe, split man, round swing, split shield, companion, iron lungs, increased fatigue recovery. Okay, anyway, so you get into close combat. You got 7 left. 6 to attack with that, 6 to round swing everyone around you, correct? Yep. And 6 to split shield. Come on. Which damage to shield. This guy hasn't got a shield, so we're gonna go whack to his head. 56% chance to deal some damage. Miss. Havard. Havard. There's definitely something very weird going on here. Anyway, you got a spear and a shield. Right, okay. So increased melee and range defense, but your maximum fatigue is reduced. Sure, why not? And I'm going to move you to here. Yeah, that requires 4 AP, spear wall, knockback, shield wall. Move here. Then spear wall is prepared to immediately attack any opponent that attempts to move into melee range, and on hit, prevent that opponent from closing in. Targets will receive half the damage of a normal thrust attack and cannot be used when engaged in melee. Okay, so use the spear wall. End turn. Right. There's definitely something going on here. Okay, this is very, very weird. Forgot that Weasels retreated from battle. Bandit Thug is wavering. His body armor was hit, and body was hit. Okay, so he took some physical damage as well. Sigmund, just... Oof. Hit for 48. Bandit Thug's morale is now steady. And Sigmund has killed the Bandit Thug. So, okay, fine. And Sigmund can just move there. Rambert... Can Rambert change weapons at all? Because Because you've got those. Equip item. Okay, we've swapped them over to that. You got a dagger. Stab, puncture. Completely ignores armor. Minus 15 chance to hit. So we have a 55 chance or a 40% chance. He's also surrounded. Ooh, punctured. So pierced arm muscles as well. That sounds painful. Move you to there. 5, and just stab him. 90% chance. Thrust and surrounded. Good. Statistics. Killed, killed. No kill. Damage dealt. Damage dealt. Damage received. XP gained. Light wounds. Looted. Ground grains. And some bandages. I found loot. Don't know if I got anything. I need to check what that graphical glitch is. Okay, hang on. We'll figure this out in time. I need to figure out what this is. I'm going to quit. I'm going to reload, see if that changes anything. Back in a sec. Okay, how very interesting. It seems to be an issue linked with OBS. If OBS is open when Battle Brothers is open, this will happen. It'll give that glitch. But if I open Battle Brothers first, it'll be fine. Then I open OBS afterwards, and hopefully now it's recording without a problem. But that is very weird. Anyway, where were we? This is now Rambert the Older, Sigmund, and Harvard. Oh, Havard. Can I change that? I can change that. Cool. Right, so you are the Iron Lungs, you are the guy. So, okay, what do we have here? Head armor, body armor, hit points, action points, fatigue, morale, resolve is higher willpower. The higher, the less likely characters want to fall to lower morale states. Resolve also acts as defense against certain mental attacks that inflict panic, fear, and mind control. Initiative. The higher this value, the earlier the position in the turn order. The average Battle Brother has a value around 100, which is reduced by current fatigue as well as by any penalty to maximum fatigue. In general, someone with light armor will act before someone in heavy armor, and someone fresh will act before someone fatigued. Okay? Vision range. Heavier helmets reduce vision. Chance to hit the head. Effectiveness versus armor. Damage. Range defense. Reduces the chance of being hit with a ranged attack. Melee defense. Ranged skill. Melee skill. Okay. We have some food. I'm assuming provisions for the groups. The troops. Ground grains. Some bandages. Perks. We haven't got a need for perks yet. Anyway. So this is our little band. These are Nemo's Nemos. And our mission is to kill Hogarth the Weasel. Okay. So let's have a look. Ooh. We have a nice big map. Hello. With a lot of it actually explored already. Okay, so we're at the kind of the western coast here, in the Golden Valley, between Kingdon and Old Loch Hill. Oh no, hang on, what's this? This is the Black Morass. As far as I understand it, this map is completely randomly generated, as are the factions. We have a faction here that have Blankvasser and Sattelberg, a faction here which takes Saxdorf, Belfast, Strand, and Rosenwall, and another faction, Wickstadt, Eisenfest, and Moorburg. Okay. Okay, let's see, what do we got here? We have crowns, that's how much money we've got. We pay out 33 crowns per day. Our 2,000 crowns will last you 60 days. Provisions, the average man requires 2 provisions per day, and on more difficult terrain. And more on difficult terrain. Running out will lower morale and eventually lead to people deserting before they die of starvation. You use 7 provisions a day. 50 will last you 7 days. Tools and supplies. Assorted tools and supplies to keep your weapons, armor, helmets, and shields in good condition. 1 point is required to repair 15 points in item condition. Running out of supplies may result in weapons breaking in combat. Repairing all of your equipment will take 10 hours and require 3 tools and supplies. You can carry 150 units at most. Ammunition. There's arrows and such. Medical supplies, medicinal supplies, bandages, herbs, and salves. Okay. That was our roster. Center the camera on us. Toggle tracking of footprints. Camp. Make or break camp. When encamped, time will go faster and your men will heal and repair the equipment at a faster rate. However, you're also more vulnerable to being caught in a surprise attack. And faction relations. Let's see, what are the factions? House Grimmond, House Goswin, and House Growall, which is over here. House Grimmond, dare to be wise. The House of Grimmond holds the high principles of justice and honor, and without irrational rulings, their region has prospered. Their reputation may be peaceful, but Grimmond knights are battle-hardened, and their troops will ferociously fight anyone threatening their realm, subordinates, or principles. Many nobles envy their wealth and ridicule their principles. House Goswin specially holds a more or less overt grudge against those of Grimmond. Your renown is your... okay. House Goswin. Nothing resists valor and arms. The noble House of Goswin is a proud and unrelenting family, with a long and blood-stained history of conquest. Seated in their fortress of Felfest, they take with arms what they consider theirs by right, an ancestral feud with those House Growall provides never-ending reasons to keep both hate in their hearts and ore smelters burning. Okay, so House Goswin doesn't like Grimmond, but they also have a feud with House Growall. Among the first, House Growall claims to have its roots in the time when man first claimed this land, and the first king ruled all men. They are but one of many noble houses now, but proud of their long history and with ambitions to continue writing history. As their renown and their resources dwindle in the now, they are said to finance expeditions in an attempt to unearth long-lost treasures from the past in sunken cities and places long forgotten. So, Grimmond is like lawful good with all the downsides that lawful good provides. Goswin is neutral, lawful neutral perhaps? Growall? I don't know. Anyway, so our objective is still to kill Hogarth the Weasel. So hang on, is it right click to move? Left click to move? Pause spacebar, let's unpause. Okay. The aftermath. You're alive. You won. The adrenaline fades, and in its wake you can't help but sink back to the ground. It looks like you won't be holding a sword again anytime soon. Gritting your teeth, you snap the arrow's shaft. Your chest heaves for breath, feeling the pain well up in your lungs. Most of the company lies dead. All of those men you fought with side by side in the shield wall this past year, and Hogarth did justice to his name, running like the weasel that the people mock him to be. What now? A voice says from behind. It is Sigmund, who sits down beside you, bending his bloodied axe on his legs. You turn to him to reply, but before you can answer he continues. The captain's dead. They slit his throat. He was a good man, and a damn good leader, but all it took was one mistake. That makes you the one in charge now, don't it? Havard joins the two of you, still breathing heavily. Let's save the anointments for another day. I figure we give the men a good burial and return to Blankvasser to collect our pay. The Weasel's men are slain after all, even if the man himself tucked tail and ran. We ought to see to the arrow sticking out of you now before we lose another man. So be it. Okay, so just regular click? Okay, so right click and regular click. So let's go to Blankvasser. Blankvasser is a small fitting village made of a few humble huts. Harbor. Okay, let's go to Blankvasser. The return to Blankvasser. What a sorry display it must be for the onlookers as you arrive in Blankvasser. Floor-bloodied and beaten mercenaries down on their luck. The man who hired the company days ago, Gernot the Younger, no doubt expected you to return in a more glorious fashion. Still, he welcomes you to his house again and offers bread and wine, while a servant fetches a healer. Few words are exchanged except for the occasional grunt and wheeze as an elderly man with shaky hands tends to your wounds. Finally, Gernot the Younger breaks the silence. So, how did you fare? A pin knifes through your skin, the first of many stitches to come. You grit your teeth, till you hear one break. Gernot the Younger takes on a grave look and he quickly hides his face behind a drink of wine. Finding breath, you give answer to his asinine question. We kill all of Hogarth's men, but he managed to elude our blades in the end. The healer waves around a glowing fire poke, suggesting he wants to push it into your wound. You nod and he does so. For a moment, that's all there is. You're not a man, but a pinch of fire, flesh from flame. As the pain subsides, you come to see that Gernot the Younger's mood has lightened. So all his men are dead, then? Well, that's... I see. A good thing you removed that threat for Blankvasser, but that man truly is elusive. We expect to get paid for this. Gernot the Younger gasps. Well, naturally. I gave you my word, didn't I? 100 crowns for every man. So as I see it, that's 400 crowns for the four of you. He gestures towards the servant who nods and hands him a wooden chest from which to take the pay. I wonder, May I make use of your services one more time? I'd very much like to end the headache that is Hogarth the Weasel once and for all, and I would pay you again, of course. Another 400 crowns, shall we say. Sigmund scoffs and turns to drink more wine, but Harvard stands to speak. Yes, the company is in ruin, but we can rebuild it. You know Sigmund, he'd drink the crowns away and end up begging on the streets, and Rambert the Older won't fare any better, chasing the womenfolk until one stove his rotted head in. We need the Nemos. It's all we have. What say you, Captain? Sigmund burps and raises his cup to you. Rambert the Older playfully thumbs his nose and nods. You are their captain now, and your men look to you for leadership. Yes, we have unfinished business with Hogarth. Gernot the Younger... Is that a dead pixel on my screen? Is that a dead pixel on my screen? I can see it in the recording. It's not. It's a rogue pixel on the a rogue pixel. God, that's gonna bother me. Gernot the Younger claps his hands in satisfaction. Very good, excellent. I'll need some time to find out where Hogarth is hiding his hide now. In the meantime, I suggest you see about stocking up on supplies so that you'll be good and ready to end this when the time comes. I shall see you in a few days' time at the latest. As you leave the comforts of Gernot the Younger's house and stand on the outskirts of Blankvasser again, Harvard seeks a word with you. What it is we need more than men, Captain. What it is we need is more men, Captain. I know I gave a big speech back there, but we ain't nothing without more warm bodies in the ranks. We should just hire at least 3 more swords hands, buy them some decent weapons and dress them in the best armor we can afford. The man pauses to glance around. Bet this Bodung town's got a desperate peasant or two looking for a new life? Or we could travel to Eisenfeist in the northeast. Them city folk aren't always as hardy as these country bumpkins, but we're likely to find men with fighting experience stopping to rest there. And they'll sell better weapons too. That is what we shall do. Okay, so we're currently in Blankvasser. Ooh, hello. That cloud distracted me. Let's go to Blankvasser. Hang on. Leave temporarily. Go away. Expose. Okay. Objectives. Visit Eisenfeist in the northeast of Blank. Where is it? All the way over there. Wow. Recruit at least 3 more men and buy weapons and armor for your men. Let's see what Blankvasser has on offer, though. Okay, so Harbor. Book passage. So this is booking passage by sea to other places. Okay. A temple. Seek healing for your wounded and pray for salvation of your internal soul. A marketplace offers some weapons, some armor, some weapons, some ammunition, some tools, some medicinal supplies, and some ground grains. Okay. And let's see. And some men. Hire new men for your mercenary company. The quality and quantity of volunteers depends on the size and type of settlement as well as your reputation here. So, who can we hire? We have Bernhard the Brave, Adalbert, Sigurd, Einar. Okay, so Bernhard the Brave was an unruly child. Bernhard's parents always handed him over to the local monastery where he was quickly pacified as a monk. Unfortunately, prayer did not spare his brothers from a slaughter. Bernhard realized that his face was better invested in looking after himself than muttering to some so-called god. Maybe there are too many devils in the world, or too many inside him, but you don't question why Bernhard wishes to join a band of sellswords. His background is a monk. Higher resolve, but lower max fatigue. Then you have Adalber, who is a vagabond with a higher max fatigue. Life on the road has taught Adalber to be a jack of all trades and a master of none, except walking, of course. But when he came to a literal fork in the road, the man realized he hadn't eaten in some time. His stomach demanded a change in scenery and diet. He's not particularly good at anything, but Adalber's seen and done a lot, and that's at least worth something. Seabird is a beggar. Lower resolve, lower hit points, lower max fatigue. He is cheap, though. He's quite cheap. After giving all his worldly possessions to an obscure cult promising salvation of his eternal soul, Sigurd was forced into the streets, depending on the goodwill of others. Once a man like Sigurd has spent a few days on the streets, much less a few years, even the very dangerous job of being a sellsword seems like the greenest of pastures. And Einar was a fisherman, which no special bonus, I guess. Einar loved the sea and the serenity of fishing alone on the water. As long as there was no storm, he was out there, fishing day in and out. It was after he strangled his wife in a fit of rage that he lost all interest in fishing, right? Visiting the tavern one evening, a new opportunity presented itself, with the promise of coin for dangerous work. Okay, you're not in it. You killed your wife. I think we'll take Adalbur, and we'll take Siegward from here. Right, okay, so if we look into our roster... Ah, see, it's happened again. How very weird. This is odd. This is very odd. Huh. This is very, very weird. Okay, so hang on. So this is Adalbur, who has a knife, a straw hat, and some tattered sackcloth. He's also tiny, which means you have low melee damage, but increased defenses, and you have double grip. Okay, so you might be a good ranged person because you're kind of small and you've higher max fatigue. So yeah, I'm gonna put you as a ranged person, Adalbur. Adalbur, the tiny. Is that? I'm assuming that's... Yeah, Rembrandt the Older, okay. Right. And Siegward is gluttonous. Better bring extra provisions when traveling with this character and expect him to leave fast if you ever run out of provisions entirely. And you're a beggar. So you're a gluttonous beggar. How does that even work? You can have that dagger, though. Kind of difficult, because I can't really... I'll have to figure out what that's all about. Anyway. I'll catch you guys next time, folks. I need to figure out what this is about. See you then. Bye.